You know, I know I do a lot of political videos, so I thought I would reiterate why I started this page to begin with. The point of it was that smoking has always been a political issue of mine ever since I was about 16, even before I actually started smoking, because it always bothered me that people were so gung-ho about smoking. Why? You know, how is it that abortion can be more deregulated than smoking? That makes no sense. How is it a pastime that really is a harmless activity has so much flack behind it and so many, ostracizing attributes, but meanwhile people can fuck each other in the ass and have glory holes, be absolutely disgusting, and it doesn't do anything. That just makes no sense at all. And then it occurred to me that it's about money. That's all it is. Smoking is something that can be done by anybody. You can grow it in your fucking backyard. And that pisses off a lot of people. Mostly rich people. So, essentially, the reason why they come down against smoking is because it's not something that can be exploited. And it's something that actually rewards hard work. A lot of times, smoking establishments only get popular if they're friendly and keep an open environment. A lot of smoking shops rely on loyal customers. A lot of, smoking hookah lounges and things rely on normal, goers. They don't just invite anybody. They need people that they know will come back. So they have to be a very friendly environment and, appeal to you personally. They have to be almost like a family. So, it is good for small businessmen. It is good for the entrepreneur, the individual who just wants to do what he wants to do, and it really is a victimless crime, because the only one you're probably hurting is yourself, if that, because, they claim that cigarettes are so bad for you and shit, and, hookah is obviously healthier than cigarettes. I don't care what anybody says. They say that, smoking hookah is like smoking 100 cigarettes. How is that even physically possible? All you're getting is tobacco in that little bowl. How is that like 100 cigarettes? Because you inhale more? So, what makes cigarettes deadly is all the carcinogenic shit they put in it to make it addictive and to make it, the substance that it is. But it isn't the tobacco in and of itself. And even those chemicals are nothing in comparison to the crap they put in the food, or the radiation emanated from the computer screen, or the microwave, or the toxic fumes you're inhaling from fucking car exhaust fumes and shit. So what makes you think it was the cigarettes that gave you cancer? So it is ridiculous. It is just something to bother people about and bitch about stupid things so they can tyrannize you, control you, and make a scapegoat. And make money, So, that is a lot of the reason why I focus on smokers' rights. On, laws that would inhibit smoking or, otherwise. Because it is just, there's no need for it. None. Whatever your problem is against smoking, you should be thinking about something of that principle, but of a higher priority. If you're against people smoking, you should be against them drinking. Because, no one's going to be smoking and be fucked up where they are impaired from driving. Smoking is never going to fuck with your mental state where you beat your wife. Smoking is not going to, kill you the first time you do it. So smoking is not going to be so addictive that you suck dick in order to buy a round of hookah. So I don't see the rationality behind it. But then again, when have people ever been based on rationality? The only things they seem to know are violence, coercion, fear, and greed. That seems to be it. If you are not appealing to the most primal instincts of being dickheads, then you aren't going to get anywhere. That's why they support rational arguments. And if you're a little mean about your statements, a little untactful, suddenly you're a barbarian and they want to ban you from YouTube and shit. Because, you're giving the truth. They don't like that. They don't like the truth. That's another thing they like. Lying. Compulsive lying. So, that's all I can really say. people are evil, and they're always finding ways to be evil. Kind of like the watermelon and Electric Lotus mixture. They mix all these evil shishas together and make a badass clusterfuck of bad. And that's all I want to say here, because I really didn't make this channel to talk about politics, and well, I did, but not all encompassing broad politics, just smoking related subject matters. But it's part of that problem. It's part of that mindset that somehow smoking is worse than all these other issues. We're not allowed to talk about homosexuality or abortion or any of these controversial subject matters, but we can find time to be hard asses about smoking. Give me a break. And on that note, I am for completely getting rid of all laws regarding hemp or pot or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I know hemp and pot are two different things, but bear with me here. So, if hemp was able to be just grown in droves, we would solve a lot of problems. It would save a lot of trees. It would save us on a lot of materials. Things would be cheaper. If pot was legalized, I don't think many people would be complaining. I think people would be even healthier, because they'd probably be out smoking pot with their friends instead of, out there having sex and getting sexually transmitted diseases, or getting drunk and driving into a wall or some shit. So, that's the way I look at things. And I don't see the fear in, smoking even the more substances that can make you a little dizzy and messed up in the head. So there's 10 minutes here, so I don't have time, and I really did not intend this profile to be used for that. So,